Good evening and salutations, my Beyond the Gate fans. Hmm. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say this right off rip, right? This show, even though it's a soap opera and it's fantasy, it is going. I'm just gonna sit there and say this right off rip. It's going to bring up some uncomfortable conversations for some people. So when I do my other reviews and the other shows or whatever, Um, unless a storyline calls for it, as far as like race talk or whatever, I generally don't bring it up because I want to generally tend to focus on the story. With this show, it's definitely going to be some racial talks in these episodes. Um, so yeah, let's just, I mean, even for right now and just for future reviews of this show, that's going to be a part of it based off of the episodes and stuff. And we'll go right into the press conference, which I did like how Vernon checked that one chick when she was there just right off rip, right before the whole thing started. She was like, "What about this? What about that?" It's like, "Oh, and how's your children, right? She was just born, right? You know, just letting them know, like, yeah, I know who you are, like I know you, you know, and I did like that. Now, press conference starts, and of course, you got Vernon, you got Anita, and but specifically Anita, but Vernon pretty much just kind of explains the situation away. No one got hurt. The family's been in a lot of threats. There's a reason for her to have a pew pew. All sorts of things to make it seem like, hey, listen, you know, there's a reason why she carried it, and yada yada yada. And Anita comes in, and Anita kind of helps make the situation not look as bad. What she also does, and I was very perplexed by this, that she pretty much puts the blame on Bill. Right? She puts the blame on Bill. Oh, well, he drove her to do this. He gaslighted her. And, you know, at first I was like, here we go with that pesky word again. Gaslighting. You know, I've been accused of gaslighting a couple of times in my stream, even though I have no idea what people are talking about, but whatever. But she brings that up. And part of me was like, that's not an excuse for unaliving someone, you know? Like that's not an excuse for sitting there pointing a pew pew intending on unaliving someone. So part of me was like, you kinda out of pocket, right? You kinda out of pocket right now. You're really, I'm not gonna sit there and tell you out of pocket. You really are out of pocket. Then after the press conference is over and after Danny speaks a little bit and Bill comes in. Now Bill is dealing with a situation with his wife where he wants to go out and set the record straight. She doesn't want to sit there and be left alone. It's their wedding night. Let's just sit there and enjoy it. She looking, and she got body karate, and she is ready to go. But he's like, no, this is more than just, you know, this is going to affect my career. It's going to affect your career. It's going to affect our practice. We got to go. We got to do this. So he convinces her to go with him. Still in her wedding dress. And he goes in there and he stands up and he starts talking. And the first thing he does is sit there and list every possible charge that Danny could be facing for, you know, the stunt that she pulled. Those are all real accurate charges, okay? And, you know, at one point he's like, you know, listen, I wasn't going to sit there and do anything because, you know, we do have two children. But given the way that Danny has been acting, the erratic behavior, the constant bullying of now my wife and everything like that, enough is enough, right? So, God comes in. This is where things get a little controversial. If you watch the episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So at first, Naomi does her law thing or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm pretty sure you could find a good prosecutor that could sit there and give a good defense as much as she's pulling off. Then Vernon comes in. Vernon's like, oh, your name is so and so, right? Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna be, this week I'm gonna be sitting there playing golf with your commissioner, pretty much your boss or whatever. Just kind of let him know, like, just to put him on notice. Let him know that he has that power, right? And then ultimately, the cop's like, you know what? Listen, no one got hurt, so you know, I'm just gonna write this up and just keep moving. Now, here's the thing. Let's just sit there and say it was the Newmans, Young and the Restless, and Victoria did the same thing that Danny did. See where I'm starting to go, right? He throws his weight around. What do you think the first thing that people are gonna sit there and say? Because let's not sit there and try to act like it's not a thing. So, you see a scene like this, and you're like, it's like I didn't know exactly how to feel about that. Because on one hand, I'm like, you know, if you're a victim, you did that, I'm pretty sure people would be upset. So, I don't know how to feel about this scene. Because part of me is like, does this make it right? But then Danny says something towards the end. Why even I was even able to really fully judge it. Now, this guy's a legend from the Civil Rights era. Time period where a black man like him would fear cops. And now it's the other way around. And so part of me sat there and looked at that like, I don't want to sit there and try to play the race card and be like, um, well, I mean, kind of even out a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm still kind of conflicted about that whole scene, but at the same time, I'm like, he was at a point where things wasn't good for him. Hell, things aren't really that much better now, but like, I don't know. I don't know. It just it made me think, and I can't even sit there and give a definitive answer, but it definitely did make me think. Um. Anyway, with that being said, she calls. Well, she texts Andre. Yeah, let me get his name right. Get his name right at some point. Now, Andre was with Ashley and Derek. And Ashley's all like a couple of things. She's all like, "Oh, it was so great. It was great to have you here. He was a great partner and stuff like that." And Derek was just like, "I'm sorry, what?" You could see the look on his face. He was not happy. Of course, they named the baby um, Ashley Andrea or something like that. Um, and they're talking and everything like that. But you could just tell the vibe where he's just like, he ain't too happy. Even when Andre was not there giving him confidence, like, hey, listen, you save people every day. I just take pictures or whatever. I just happen to be at the right place at the right time. But just acknowledging that, at the end of the day, you are still the real hero. And if we're gonna be honest, it's not like Andre really did much of anything except for hold the chick's hand. Um, they go back home, or they go back to her place with her. I don't think they're married, or I don't know if they're married or not. But anyway, they go back to her place, and she wants to sit there and do the devil's tango. He's like, you know what? I gotta wake up early in the morning. I gotta save lives and stuff like that too. You gotta sit there and look at that situation and be like, would a man trade sleep for sex? I've done that a couple of times myself. It was not a fun morning. I'll tell you that much. It was not a fun morning. So he wound up leaving. And of course, Andre goes over to Danny's place, and he's damn near butt naked. And he does sit there and tell like, "Yo, you have to tame that wild side. Like, I mean, you have to tame it tonight because we about to sit there and get it on. But like on a railroad, you gonna have to like tame that itch down." Now, Danny was at the bar, and she was sitting there reminiscing about one of the times after Bill and her gave away Naomi. And Bill admitted how instrumental that she was with his career, how much she sacrificed and stuff like that to kind of build him up, build up his practice, get him to where he was at that point, even after all the disappointments that he's done to her, after all the sacrifices. And it's I'm be honest, like the words that he was saying to her was just beautiful, you know? And that's the part that's just so goddamn heartbreaking, right? Because he said all this stuff and he really sit there and was like, I appreciate you and all that stuff. You gotta go, you gotta watch the scene. Right? You gotta watch that scene. And so when you go back and you watch the episode, like, oh well, you didn't build me, and your daddy didn't build me, and I'm like, I knew that was pride talking even before I saw that scene. And so when you watch Danny, you watch her at that bar, it's one of those things where I'll put it like this: men and women are different, obviously. We may have the same emotions, but they're we don't we process them differently, right? We process them differently. So like a scene like this is something that only a woman would understand, particularly a woman of color would understand, but just a woman in general. So this is where you sit there and you look at that scene and you see her go off and everything like that. Like we process things differently. And I remember something that Dolomite says, like we are different. Men and women are different. And that's not a bad thing. That's a thing that we need to acknowledge and respect. So I feel like, a scene like that is something that women are gonna really understand. So like when I sit there and I look at Bill, Bill got the gun in his face and everything like that. And granted, again, I don't condone what she did, but part of me is like, I mean, Bill, I still like you. You're my favorite character. You're messy, but it's one of those things where it's like you look at a scene like that, and I guess it's a gender thing sometimes. Where it's like men gotta sit there and stick up for other men because if we don't do it, nobody else will. And the same thing for women. But even on a thing like this, it's like after seeing everything that he said to her, and then watching the scene afterwards when he kind of trashes her and saying, "Oh well, Danny's just she needs all this attention and stuff like that." It's like, God damn, bro. It's one of those things. It's like I want to sit there and be like, I want to side with you because we're both men, but I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. I was like, I can't. I'm like, I can't do it. She's all shooken up. Um, and it's gonna take her a while before she's ready to get back into the spirit of things. Meanwhile, Chelsea Smith there kicking herself, and in our reality, Kat's like, she does apologize for going off on her, and also, I mean, let's be honest, nothing's gonna wind up happening today. She pulled out a pew pew, and then she got to just pretty much go home and do the devil's tango. So like, at the end of the day, like, you snip this thing, you going dark, you ain't going dark. Your mama don't want you to do that, and you know damn well once you calm down, like I said, you ain't gonna do that. And then there's this whole thing with Michael and Brady, and I know they call him Smitty, but I'm gonna call him Brady for a while today till the Smitty part really kicks in. Only thing that's interesting is when Brady Smith they're talking about what Martin was Smith they're saying as far as the rage and stuff like that, and how sometimes it can consume you and it can take over you and stuff like that. And he saw the look on his grandparents' face like they had some sort of dark secret or something. Um, so, yeah, I guess the mystery continues on that. Um, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else. But also, write in the comment section below. Now, I'm not going to do a live stream tonight. It's getting kind of late, and even when I do it, it'll probably be close around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And also, I think a rest night would be cool. I think a one night break would be cool. I lost count how many times I've been streaming, how many days I've been streaming in a row. But after I finish my last soap, I'm going to bed. Like, I don't care if it's 9:30, I'm going to bed. Um, now I am supposed to be streaming with Kyrie's Clark. You know Kyrie's Clark at this point. Definitely check him out on his channel. If I have time and I'm able to be a somewhat responsible adult and wake up at an appropriate time and get everything done, I'll try to do a stream. I'll try to do a stream in between. Um, at some point of the day. I don't know how long or when, but if I can, I'll sit there and post something in the community tab. Anyway, this is fun. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it still surprises me. It still surprises me that I'm able to sit there and come up with a review. I don't know how I do it sometimes. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. If I miss anything, write in the comment section below. Otherwise, I will sit there and see you in the next video, next stream. Hopefully tomorrow, if not Thursday. But we'll see what happens.